Good evening. My name is Kelly Bergman. For those of you that don't know me, I'm a 2010 Becker graduate. I'm currently a social work student at Winona State. I'll be graduating in May, woohoo. And I've gone to this church pretty much my entire life. Last week, Mark Swanson had it right. When you get up here to speak about yourself in front of the congregation, it's a lot harder than it actually seems. At last week's service, I turned to Clayton Gales and said, want to do next week's service? And he said, of course, no, I wouldn't know what to talk about. Absolutely not. So, it's true. It's very hard to know what to talk about when you come up here to tell your faith story. We've had many amazing people come up to this very spot and tell their inspiring stories of faith. How God helps them through the struggles they have experienced. How God helps them brave their tragedies. How there was doubt and worry, but God got them through it all. It's kind of hard to come up here and follow these stories that are very moving and probably far more interesting than mine. My faith story isn't as exciting. There's no major tragedy. There isn't one significant event that defines my faith story. My life has been ordinary. But that's not to say that I don't have a faith story. Although for a period of time I did think that was true. In February, I applied for a program through the ELCA called Young Adults in Global Mission, or YAGM. This program gives young adults ages 19 to 29 the opportunity to go abroad and do service work for 11 months. I heard about this program when I was a freshman in college, and I've literally been thinking about it ever since. Their application that I had to fill out asked me for my faith story. So after reading this question and trying to process, I called Jeremy. Jeremy, I don't have a faith story. Help me. I don't know what I'm going to do. And it actually was that dramatic. So Jeremy, being the saint that he is, scheduled to meet with me for coffee so that we could chat and figure something out. I was beyond stressed. There's nothing exciting about my life. There's nothing that will make me stand out from anyone else. Nothing that is more inspiring about me than someone else. And no one else has more life experience, and everyone else has more life experience than I know. So it's easy to look at someone and compare what we are to what we're not to what they are. It's actually kind of hard to be ordinary. Like how is God going to use someone ordinary like me to do anything? There are so many extraordinary people in this world. I really have nothing to offer. There's a period of time before Jeremy got to the coffee shop when I sat in my car thinking, you are awkward and obnoxious, and Jeremy is going to have to work some kind of miracle to make you have a faith story of any kind. So, it wasn't my best pep talk, but I knew that Jeremy would have to have some kind of idea. So we talked for a bit. Actually, I pretty much spilled my guts and talked in circles about how I had no faith story and I was hopeless and there was no way that I was going to be able to do this. Jeremy wasn't really able to get a word in and talk very much initially. But after many tears and whining, from me of course, although I'm sure after Jeremy spent all that time with me, he had a lot of complaining that he wanted to do, Jeremy did end up working a miracle. Actually, it wasn't necessarily a miracle. The only miracle that he made was calming my hysteria. After that, things were pretty easy. Here's what we came up with for my application. I've never had a real come to Jesus, dramatic, life-changing moment. I cannot specifically say when or where my faith started. It's something I've always had. I had a very basic church life growing up. My mom took me to church almost every Sunday. I went to Sunday school as a child and learned the basic Bible stories from my teachers. After Sunday school came confirmation, where I learned Bible verses and basic Lutheran theology. Once I was confirmed, I started going to youth group, where we were taught how to live out these lessons we learned in past classes. When I got to college, I made the choice to continue continue being active in my faith life at the Lutheran Campus Center. I came to take full ownership of my faith on my own terms. My views on certain issues changed, and I became more fully aware of the gifts and opportunities I've been given. Although I believe God does things for us without any expectation, I still feel the need to live my life with gratitude for that. I act with love and service others as a response of gratefulness for His coming down with love, grace, and mercy. I do my best to use the gifts and opportunities He has given me to give opportunities to others. So that's what I said, and I quickly submitted it before I could make any other changes, because that was like the 8th time I'd done that. And weeks later, I received a response from the ELCA telling me that, in not exactly these words, "Yes, you are probably awkward and obnoxious and very ordinary, but God has plans for you, and we would like you to come to our discernment, interview, and placement event to find out if these plans involve yoga." So yay for that. As I said, I don't really have one significant come to Jesus moment. He's always been there. But just because I don't have one significant moment doesn't mean my faith story is any less important or real than anyone else's. I haven't had big moments of coming to Jesus, but I can think of small moments that I've seen Jesus in my life. The moments of patience I received from my mom when I was screaming under the pews at service as a child. The tolerance my Sunday school teachers had shown me when I literally was screaming the Lord's Prayer at the end of our lesson. The faces of joyful children I saw on the service trips to Martin, South Dakota and Raleigh, North Carolina, when we spent our days serving at the Boys and Girls Clubs in those areas. The gratitude homeless men and women showed to other students and myself when we traveled to Los Angeles last spring for our service trip. Even simple moments with students here at SSLC during the youth group these last few months have been small moments of Jesus in my life. All these mini moments have led up to one big picture, my faith story. God has blessed me with people to build, inspire, and take part in my faith story. I read a quote once that said, "God can do anything through anyone, but He specializes in doing really beautiful things through the most unlikely people." There's purpose for all of us. No matter how ordinary or plain we may feel, God has plans to do extraordinary things with us. Maybe not in huge moments of coming to Jesus, but in mini moments. As I end this evening, I would like all of you to think about your mini moments of God's love, grace, and mercy in your life. Your moments that have added up to you being here now, that have added up to your faith story. I would like you to think about the people that have built, inspired, and taken part in those mini moments. Appreciate those ordinary moments, because they're adding up to the extraordinary plans and purpose God has